Are we live?
I think so.
Oh my god, we're live!
Woohoo!
Yeah.
We're alive!
Barely! Let's do that song thing.
Okay.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're talking on Mondays with Brian the Master. You're watching this show. Hello!
Yeah.
I'm tired and still doing a show.
It's fine.
So Jordan's gonna talk more.
I am going to talk more, which I never do, so that's fine that I talk more.
I'm gonna gather my notes while you start.
You're going to gather notes? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to get sad stuff out of the way first.
Oh no.
Because I also don't know anything about it. Because no one does. Because that's the point. There's a whole plane that's just missing, guys. It's
Where'd
missing.
it go?
It's missing, and I'm really upset. I think a lot of people are upset, but no one knows what's happening.
I
And it's
honestly
baffling.
don't know much about what's going on with this, other than
That's
I keep on seeing
because
the news.
it's because even the people that are investigating don't know what's happening. There literally is no news. They're searching a very large area for this plane that has just disappeared.
I just don't know how our entire plane can just disappear. And it happens all the time. I was reading an article the other day about how many planes have gone missing since the 80s or something like that, and there are dozens and dozens of planes that have just gone missing.
Just missing. Just
Gone.
missing. Anyway, so that really, really sucks, and I hope that even if they don't find it, they at least find some sort of answer soon, because it's been, a week?
Something like that.
And they don't have even any answer, or even anything that resembles them approaching an answer, which is really unfortunate.
That is very unfortunate.
I don't really have anything more to say about that. Except for sadness, because there's nothing to say, because there isn't any information other than a bunch of garbled they found this and this and this and no one knows what it means. Where did you go? So that's sad, and I'm gonna move on from the sad to other things that are less sad, like how much television I watch.
Oh my god, you watch so much television!
I do watch a lot of television. I'm gonna show everybody my calendar.
This thing is great.
So here's the thing. I'm just gonna be really low tech and just show it at the camera because I don't know how else to do it. So this is my iCal of television that I watch.
Look at all that television.
It's a lot of television.
Those aren't things that she does.
No, that's all television. There's nothing else on my iCal except for the holidays that are on there automatically and birthdays. And there are no birthdays this month that is currently up. The month that is up is April. Yeah, I watch a lot of television. If anyone can recommend something for Wednesdays, do so, because I have nothing on Wednesdays. And even though I already watch too much television, it's weird that there's nothing on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So I would like to fill Wednesday with at least one thing.
Your Thursdays must be so depressing.
Yeah, because then I have nothing. Because I don't actually watch it live. I watch it after the fact because we don't actually have a television. But
it's been pretty awesome recently. I've been overall very pleased with the television that I keep saying.
yes. So specific television. If anyone is watching Vikings, good for you. And if you're not watching Vikings, you should be. It's basically like if Game of Thrones were about Vikings and were on the History Channel.
I can support that.
And that's Vikings.
So is it semi more factual? Is it?
I would assume so. I haven't actually fact checked it. I'm just trusting that
The History Channel isn't gonna just make up a bunch
that
of
the History
nonsense?
Channel knows its shit. I mean it's fiction. The main guy is a real guy, but I assume that all
His story is all
Yeah.
made up. Yeah, we don't know everything that happened to a Viking hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, I mean I assume it's based in a little bit of fact, but mostly shit that's been exaggerated because that's what people do.
And when you say Game of Thrones, do you mean there's lots of sexy time?
More violence than sexy times.
Okay.
Which is preferable for me.
I know.
And one thing that they're a lot more accurate about, I feel in Vikings, is that when there's a battle, the people that win also get really bloody. Like, when you hit someone in the neck with an axe, their blood is gonna get on you.
That is a fact. It really does not take that much force to cause blood to splatter.
Yeah, and they never bother to actually clean themselves, so, like, there'll be a battle at the beginning of an episode, and they'll just stay bloody for the rest of the episode.
Vikings didn't really clean themselves, I know. Like,
and
it's hard enough to get most humans now to clean themselves, aka Brian.
Pretty much.
But...
So yeah,
Vikings? You don't need to clean yourself if you're a fucking Viking.
Fuck.
Yeah, exactly. No.
But also, they just did a time jump, and so now they're 4 years in the future. So, like, the main guy's son is now played by Kato from The Hunger Games.
Okay!
And I was like, why do you look so familiar, new, older Bjorn? And then I was like, oh, it's because you're Kato.
Kato was the one that we decided was just a serial killer in his...
Yeah, the one who was just, like, evil.
Yeah.
He was just straight up
we
evil.
were watching the Hunger Games again because it's awesome. And why wouldn't you watch it over and over again? We should watch the second one sometime soon.
Oh, yeah, because it wasn't working.
Yeah. And we decided that, like, based off what happens in the movie, Kato's character, he literally has no backstory or no, like, good versus bad. There's no conflict, no internal sort of, like, character arc, except for he hates himself and is only good for killing, and therefore he's been a serial killer his whole life.
It seems like that's what he did at home, was, like, killed people.
That's, like, all that he knew how to do.
Maybe he was an executioner, but probably just murdered people.
Yeah.
For fun. Not even for a living, just for fun.
He wasn't even an assassin, he just, like, was a killer.
Just for funsies. Just as a hobby.
Yeah. Just, cool, what am I gonna do today? I did my homework.
Break some necks. Like,
yeah.
Casual.
Exactly.
Casual encounters. Neck breaking.
I don't like that. Okay.
Oh, dear.
Yes.
Also, apparently, like, 2/3 of a season of Bravest Warriors was released without my knowledge.
Dude, I haven't watched any of it either. I keep on seeing it come up on my newsfeed. I was like, I gotta catch up.
I didn't know. I had no idea.
Have you liked Bravest Warriors on Facebook?
No, I don't like anything on Facebook.
But it tells you about television.
I just don't use Facebook very much. I, like, don't know how anymore. I'm really technology dumb.
I'm sorry.
I just, like, Facebook has changed. I, like, still miss original Facebook from, like, when I was, like, 17.
Okay.
Like, I don't understand because I don't use it enough to, like, keep up with all the changes, so I feel like I log into Facebook and, like, shit has changed and I don't know how to use it.
Sometimes that happens, even to those of us who use Facebook all the time.
Yeah, and I'm just like, so, like, I have, like, private Facebook groups with, like, my friends from high school and my friends from college, and, like, I use those to communicate with them, and that's pretty much how I use Facebook. I haven't had a status update in forever. I'm legitimately worried that my profile picture is why I'm not getting jobs. Have you seen my profile picture? No. It's literally a photoshopped picture of me with the guys from Supernatural.
I do remember.
And, like, the picture of me that I photoshopped into that picture, I'm wearing a tiara.
It's because you're the best. Like, you're a princess between two gods.
Maybe frightening potential employers if they're Facebook stalking me, which I don't even know if that's a thing people actually do.
It totally is. I read an article the other day about how many employers will do a quick Google search before they actually invite anyone to an interview. So if you don't have a LinkedIn and you're like, Facebook has anything that's public that's, like, clearly weird, like, they'll know right away. It's such, like, a big weeding process.
Yeah, well, I'm, like, impossible to Google is the thing.
Really?
Well, because there's a guy named Jordan Tower who has, like, a production company.
Oh, you told me about this!
Yeah, so if you...
Black dude, right?
Yeah, so, like, everyone thinks that I'm just this large black man, but, with a production company. So then they're just confused when, like, my resume is, like, science! But
science!
Pretty much. Jordan Christina Tower. Science. Yeah.
Your middle name isn't anywhere on the internet with you?
No, it's not. It's on my resume, so, like, partially to clarify that is not the correct Jordan Tower if they Google me. But yeah, it's, like, not, like, attached to my Facebook at all.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like I haven't, like, delved into, like, page 12 of the Jordan Tower Google search.
Yeah, but I'm sure you're not that guy isn't the only other Jordan Tower. Jordan Tower
so like
has to be a common enough name.
Yeah, so like it's very difficult to Google me.
Gotcha.
Because there's also like a hostel called Jordan Tower.
Oh, weird.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'm very difficult to Google.
I am the exact opposite. The first 5 pages of Care Ferguson or Carmichael Ferguson.
It was all you.
Not me. Almost all the photos are me or my artwork. Like, if you want to know everything about me, including like embarrassing blog posts from like high school, just Google my name. Like, I need to like cleanse myself from the internet.
Yeah. Just as an experiment, everybody Google both of us, and it's very different and very funny.
Back to television.
Anyway, television. So, okay, I was gonna talk more about Bravest Warriors, but if you haven't watched it, then
no, go for it. I'm not afraid of spoilers.
Okay. Yeah. Because there may or may not be a Catbug origin story.
Yeah.
And it's very, very exciting. And just Catbug might be my Patronus. Like, I've always leaned more towards Direwolf, but I think probably Catbug. Maybe depending on my mood.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, it's like, if someone I love is threatened, definitely Direwolf. But like, if I'm just chilling, probably Catbug.
I've always thought that I am truly just a mixture of Catbug and Christina Yang and maybe a little bit of Wonder Woman.
Good. That's a good combination. I'm trying to picture that as one creature, though, and it's a little horrifying.
That's not a good thing.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know who Christina Yang is, she is the badass Asian chick from Grey's Anatomy. And she has all of the ambition and strive that I have in my heart. Except for she's a surgeon and I'm an animator. And
another show that we both still watch.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about it and what ridiculous things have happened in it recently, because it's kind of hilarious.
I have not watched the most recent episode.
Don't worry about it, because it doesn't fucking matter, because it's all just absurd.
But it's on, like, season 1,000,000, and I have continued watching it from season 1.
Yeah, I watched so many. I actually rewatched some of it the other day with my roommate, Christine Riley. So, yeah. Still watching that show somehow.
It's just, is it renewed for another season? Or is that still up in the air?
I don't know. This season is actually the last season that Christina Yang, my favorite character and spirit animal, is going to be in it. So I may just finally give up after she leaves. But McDreamy's hair might keep me around.
I have a really hard time giving up on shows, even like when I stop liking them.
Yeah. Well, it's just part of like television is that escape to that other reality, and it's so consistent with your life. I feel like movies you escape, but like you don't live through it the same way with television, because television is like something changes every week, and things grow, and things change over time. It's just like life, except for it's not yours.
Yeah. I just, like, once I get attached to characters, even if the show gets boring, or, like, if it's a comedy, if it, like, stops being funny, it's like I care just enough about the characters to keep watching.
I feel that.
And so it's like, even if it's no longer entertaining, I just, like...
Well, that's why Christina Yang leaving might be the thing that gets me.
Because then, like, you no longer care about the rest of the characters.
No, like, I like Meredith, sort of, but she's kind of, like, been complaining since she had a baby, and Derek is just the perfect man. He's, like, working for the fucking president, and his hair is glorious.
So, like, he never
he
never has enough conflict.
No,
like, he's just, like, a perfect being.
The worst conflict is that he and his wife didn't have sex for 3 weeks because he went back on a promise. That was his conflict this season. There was like one episode, like season 2, where he was kind of a jerk, and that's been about it.
I feel like ever since Addison left, like ever since that got resolved, like he hasn't had any actual conflict. Pretty much. He's just been like sitting there like being McDreamy. For several seasons.
Yeah.
But no. As long as Alex is still around, I will still watch.
I do have a soft spot
I will just
Alex.
sit there hoping that Alex will get to be happy for the rest of my life.
That poor boy.
Just knowing that he's happy in real life makes me happy. He has 5 children in real life, and that just like
awesome. Also,
I'm just like
that boy did not age at all.
No, he didn't.
He looked exactly the same. The rest of them, like, they all aged a little bit. Like, Christina Yang's, most of her looks the same, but, like, her body shape has changed a little bit, and, like, the sides of her face aren't quite the same.
Yeah.
Meredith has aged. Mm-hmm. And, like, McDreamy has aged, but, like...
gracefully.
Into the most stoic man of a... Ugh.
Like fine wine. He has
aged. Fine wine, he has aged. He has that little, like, patch of gray in the front, but it's, like, that one little sliver, and it perfectly contours, the curve of his hair.
His floofly hair.
His little fluff of a hair thing. Yeah. I'm gonna stop talking about McDreamy for a second. Either way, don't watch Grace. There's no point.
If you're not already there, don't go to there.
Just don't do it. Bravest Warriors, watch that.
Do that.
All people should. It's a cartoon show, but it's hilarious. Think Adventure Time, but for older people.
I made my friend Tori watch Bee and Puppy Cat last night.
Yes! Also watch Bee and Puppy Cat. It's gonna be a real TV show. It got a Kickstarter. It's by this awesome chick. She makes drawings online, but she's basically like just from the New Girl and super awkward, mixed with Sailor Moon. And there's a puppy cat that does a weird dance and has magical powers, and they go to space and defeat things.
It is a puppy cat.
So
it's a puppy and a cat.
When Simon McCracken, our usual host, saw it for the first time, he texted me and said, "Hey, Kara, there's a show that's basically what you would do if you made a show about Christine." Awkward chicks, Sailor Moon status, cute things. It's what I animate people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm tired. Keep going.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. Slightly less happy TV show thing. Slightly randy TV show thing. So, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I hear that's supposed to be getting better.
It is getting better. No, I like it in general. It's like, it's doing really well. I like it as a show. Just this one episode really, really bothered me. And I was really excited for it, which was really disappointing, because it had Lady Sif in it.
Oh, awesome!
Who, like, is my fictional soulmate. Like, I just want to be Lady Sif's Jane Foster. Like, I am just a perpetual damsel in distress, and I just want her to come rescue me, because I have a serious weakness for warrior ladies. And
I support that.
Yes. And I just want her to be my warrior princess and rescue me. And it's fine.
Excellent.
And so I was really excited for her to be in the episode. And, like, I mean, she was still great. Like, it was a good episode in general, but the, like, villain of the episode was this, like, other Asgardian who had this power to, like, make men, like, follow her, basically, and, like, do what she wanted, just, like...
Zombie men?
Yeah, like, basically she could just, like, gather an army by just, like, saying, like, hello, you're mine now, basically, to men. And, like, for certain men, like, she had to, like, also touch them for, like, strong-willed men, basically.
Oh.
And there's at one point, like, Melinda May, one of, like, the other characters, says, like, her powers don't work on women. And Sif says, no, men have an inherent weakness we do not share. Which, in and of itself, would have been awesome. Like, if they just left it there, and it was just, like, the plot of the episode was ladies are awesome, men are just inherently weak.
Man.
I would have loved that, but they, like, sexualized the power in a weird way, so that, like, she ended up, like, sleeping with a lot of the men that, like, she used her power on. It's like they had, like, a sexual attraction to her, not just, like, I want to follow you and be in your army.
Yeah.
And it made it weird, because then it brings up all these questions, like, would it work on lesbians? Would it work on gay men? Like,
also,
would it work
like,
half the time on bisexual
just
people?
from the feminist standpoint, the fact that they're giving women their power through their sexuality, like, I understand that sexuality is a powerful trait and can be used as a weapon, but just because it's a lady, would they do it if it was a guy?
Yeah, that wasn't even the issue for me. The issue was just, like, there's this, like, overwhelming straightness on the show that, like, now they've put it out there. Like, before it was just most of their sexualities hadn't been acknowledged because, like, only two of the characters are, like, having any sort of sexual relationship. But now it's, like, out there, this, like, overwhelming straightness. And it's, like, it could have been solved if they had just, like, had it work on one of the ladies in the show. And it's just like, oh, like, maybe Simmons is bisexual. Like, okay.
Cool.
And, like, it would have just, like, could have worked seamlessly. And it's like, you could have just figured it out. Like, oh, that's why that works.
Yeah.
And I feel like they wouldn't have had to, like, stumble over themselves to explain it.
Or if they just hadn't made it as sexually charged.
Yeah, they could have just completely eliminated the sexual element.
It would have been, like, due to gender, not to sexual attraction.
Yeah. But they added this weird sexual element to it. Yeah, if they had just left it at just like, men are weak, haha. Like, then I would have been fine with that.
It's science, dude.
But they didn't, and it made me very uncomfortable.
I'm sorry.
And I wanted to just like be super psyched that Lady Sif was there, and they ruined it with.
Well, it's still cool that she was there because she's
still
awesome.
cool that she was there, and there was also like a tie-in with Thor, because like at the end of Thor 2, it's like not actually Odin. It's like Loki pretending to be Odin. And then Sif was like sent to retrieve this Asgardian woman.
Yeah.
Who had like been imprisoned on Asgard. She's sent to like retrieve her for Odin and like bring her back to Asgard, but it's like not actually Odin. It's Loki. So then it's like, like what's going on there?
Yeah.
So that's cool. I just wish that they hadn't sexualized this power. Yeah. Or that if they did sexualize it, they had, like, made it a little more complicated than just, like, I don't know.
Penises love vaginas.
Yes. And, like, maybe it's not going to be a one-off thing, and maybe they'll complicate it later, but I doubt it, which is unfortunate.
I doubt it, too. Well, I read a really cool thing about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., how someone was writing a review about how the last season had been kind of disappointing, but when you look at it, the cool thing about this show is how it's going to tie into what already exists in the movies and like how epic it can eventually become due to that connection and how huge of a canon there is. But they really needed what existed, what like happened this past season to be there to get to this sort of point. Like you couldn't just start out with like crazy like Iron Man, Thor stuff.
Yeah, and it definitely has grown throughout the season. Like, it's definitely gotten steadily better.
Yeah.
And, like, they have had, like, some funny tie-ins. Like, the episode, like, the week after Thor came out.
Yeah.
They had, like, the episode, they were, like, cleaning up, basically, after, like, the events of Dark World.
Cool. I like that.
Which is neat. Like, they actually do, like, tie-ins to the movies, and
I should watch more of these shows and stop reading articles about them. I work so much, you guys. The reason why I'm tired is because I was at work since 8 a.m. today, and I have to do the same thing tomorrow. I don't have time for television. I watch TV when I go to the gym, which is twice a week. I put it all on my phone, and then I let myself work out and watch TV at the same time. That's all the time I have. It's depressing. I just wanted to share that with you because it makes me angry.
Meanwhile, I watch a lot of television. I did wake up at normal person time, though, today.
Good for you, Jordan!
Because I was babysitting, but still.
That's still good.
I had to get Luke on the bus at 8:30, so I had to get up at 7:30. Because he gets up at 7:30.
Well, that's still an improvement.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about our personal lives when we're not on camera. Okay, moving on.
Let's see. What order do I want to do this in? I'm going to do that.
Whatever you want to do, dude.
I'm going to do this part later. So, this part.
Okay.
Happy Gayland.
I love Happy Gayland.
Yay! So, the actor who plays Hodor, Christian Nairn? I don't know how to say his last name. Anyway, he's super gay.
Oh, cool.
Which is really exciting. He also came out in, like, the most adorable way possible. He was like asked a question in an interview about his popularity within the gay community, specifically in the bear community.
Well, because he's a bear.
Yes. And his response to the question started, well, in all honesty, when you talk about the gay community, you're talking about my community. And that's how he came out in this interview. Yeah. Just like, well, yeah. Like, hey, which is great.
I'm gay.
Yeah, basically.
That's really, I like how blunt that is.
Yeah, and he goes on to say that, like, he's never hidden it. Like, he's never hidden his sexuality. It's not really, like, something that he's been, like...
in the closet about ever?
Yeah. He's, like, just, no one's ever brought it up in interviews. He's been, like, he actually says, I've tried to lead the questions a few times, but to no avail.
Well,
so it's like he's been trying to come out in interviews, and just no one has asked him.
Because he is clearly, if you were to be classified, a bear. But I like just from like the television show and what little I've seen of interviews, I wouldn't have like guessed.
I haven't really seen any interviews with him.
I guess I'd only really seen like pictures and things from like articles.
Yeah, I've never seen something that was like specifically an interview with him. I've seen like
what he like sounds like in real life.
Yeah, because like literally that's his only line. Like various intonations of that one word.
Yeah.
Which like, and like there are other parts of the interview where he talks about that. Like some people have said like you have the easiest job, and other people say you have the hardest job because like to add like emotion and stuff to when you only have one word to work with, like.
It takes
that must
a
be
lot
difficult.
of
like
emotion, like emoting rather than you letting the words lead your acting.
Yeah, like he doesn't have to memorize lines, but like.
Yeah. Well, I actually made an awesome film this summer with a bunch of kids at this camp I teach at, and it was I described it as a absurdist drama. It was a fight between two friends and their respective sadness afterwards, but it was all meowed, and it was all performed by 9-year-olds. It's really excellent. And I taught them, like, the point of the exercise was to use your intonation and body language and filming and editing to make the story go forward, not the writing. Which I think was fun, but totally plays into that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, it's always very obvious, like, what he's trying to convey.
Yeah, you usually get it.
Anyway, but that's exciting. It was just really cute the way he was just like, I've been trying to, like, bring this up, and just, like, no one wants to ask.
That is funny. Well, someone asked, and now we know.
And now we know.
My phone auto-corrected something to Hodor the other day.
I wish everything would just auto-correct to Hodor. Anyway, so that's awesome. Other things. Kesha is out of rehab, and
what?
She is now Kesha with no $sign. She is back to a regular S now.
Okay.
And she wants to go by Kesha Rose now instead of just Kesha.
She put out that song recently that actually had emotions. It sounded like it was about like your first love sort of thing. Have you heard this?
Mm-mm.
And
just heard Timber all the time.
And it's not as terrible as usual. Like, Kesha, there's a point to Kesha. Kesha exists for when you're at a fucking party and you're having a great time, or you're in your car alone and you want to, like, belt out loud really, like,
I've always had a certain amount of respect for Kesha in the sense that, like, she doesn't pretend to be anything she isn't.
No, she knows she's trashy and she
knows she makes party songs.
Yeah.
But I wonder now that, like, she's gone through this where, like, literally, like, all of her people made her feel like shit about herself.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know.
Well,
I'm really curious to see where she will go from here.
I am too, especially, I don't know exactly when...
She'll rise like a phoenix from the ashes of her $sign.
I don't know how I feel about that. Because the song, I don't know exactly when it came out in respect to her rehab interaction. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it was before or after she decided to become a more serious human being, I guess. Mm-hmm. But it's about, like, a girl saying goodbye for the last time to her first love. Like, it's like talking to your high school sweetheart, and you're like, this is sad, but, like, we both gotta move on.
But we're done now, yeah.
Not in a, like, I want to move on, but, like, we're growing up. We have to. It's very sweet, which is interesting. It's still got, like, a party vibe to it. It's still, like, you know, dancey and all that shit at times.
Yeah, it's not like a ballad, but it's a dancey tune with, like, meaning behind it.
Yeah, there is.
Like,
and
like...
Yeah, exactly. Not the same. It's not TikTok again.
Yeah.
But I was impressed for Kesha. I was like, okay. These are emotions I have felt, and I can approve them being sung about. I don't know if I necessarily listen to the song particularly often, but I didn't change it when it came on the radio the other day. That's about how much approval I gave that.
I'm interested. I'm interested to see where she'll go.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of interested to see where hot chicks go, because I don't think Kesha's actually attractive. once again, actual host Sam McCracken sent me this link today. There's this awesome movie that's about to come out called Under the Skin or Under Your Skin. I forget what it is exactly, but it's starring Scarlett Johansson. And I've just been realizing, Scarlett Johansson has always been pretty awesome. She did Ghost World and Lost in Translation as her like breakout 2 movies, so pretty cool chick. But then she like had an era, in my opinion, where she wasn't necessarily as awesome, where she probably did a little bit more like kind of dumb films and just kind of like fell into the whole like, oh, I'm really hot and I have big boobs and my lips are really puffy, so everyone thinks I'm pretty, so I'm gonna do those kind of roles. But she's been doing some really cool stuff recently. Obviously, Marvel.
Yeah.
Awesome, because who doesn't love freaking superheroes? Also, her. Great movie. I talked about it when we were doing the Oscars stuff. She did the voice for the computer or the operating system in that. Very interesting role. Also, the fact that she was a never seen
a disembodied voice.
Approve of that. This new movie, super weird. It's supposed to be like very like Stanley Kubrick-esque. It's like kind of disturbing, like maybe a little bit like melancholia-ish in terms of like weird moments, but like I think it'll be better than that because like fuck Lars von Trier. Yeah, God, felt nerdy. Sorry. But either way, check out the trailer. It's freaky and it's awesome. It should be a pretty good movie. And that's my hot chicks doing cool things moment. I love when hot chicks do cool things.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. Onward.
Other things. Fred Phelps is dying.
Who's Fred Phelps?
Founder of the Westboro Baptist Church.
Oh, fuck that dude.
Fuck that dude. Yeah, he's super dying.
What's making him die? Just hatred and
death.
Like,
I don't know.
In his brain.
I don't actually know. I saw it was like the article that I saw was from like one of his estranged children. He was like, I have learned that my father is in hospice and is dying. I'm like, okay. His stupid hate-filled church probably still won't go away, but it's one less douchey person in the world.
Well, I also heard that like the church is mostly made up of like a few families,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
so the guy who founds it, like his family is probably the center of those families.
Yes. I mean, I think his family will continue doing it.
Oh, I'm
even
sure
after
they
he's
will,
gone,
but it would be a major blow to that douchey church, which I'm okay with. I suppose. I hope they go a little less around.
Yeah, and George Takei did say like some like good things about like just because he's a dick and pickets funerals, like please nobody picket his funeral type of sentiment.
Oh no.
Which,
because I don't like him, but like people dying will always be sad.
yeah,
And let's not stoop to their level.
yeah. But I'm still not sad that he's dying.
No.
That's still in the positive end of neutral type of news.
It's kind of like, well, sad, but, better for the human race. Just think of the overall effect, people. Let's not be selfish and think about one person.
Yes. What is next? Probably should have put these things in order.
Whatever you want to do, dude.
I'm gonna go with this one next.
Okay.
Buffalo Women's Services.
What the fuck is that?
It is the first abortion clinic / natural birthing center
Oh, sweet.
in Buffalo. Because started by, actually, I have the article. Started by this woman. This article is actually in Cosmo. I actually did an interview with this woman, which actually is fairly decent considering it's Cosmo.
Okay. It's at Cosmo.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's largely because most of the information is from this woman rather than from Cosmo, but still, good on you, Cosmo, for publicizing this woman. So where is her freaking name? Dr. Morrison, Dr. Catherine Morrison. So she's run this abortion clinic in Buffalo for a while. But it kind of came to her attention that another kind of, I don't want to say another group of women, because it's not necessarily another group of women, which she actually brings up in the interview, that it's like, women have babies, women get abortions, and it's often the same women. Like,
it's not like people get abortions and decide, I'm never going to have a baby.
Yeah. But she noticed that there are a lot of obstacles to, like, people's, like, choices for when they do decide to have the baby, in terms of, like, their natural birthing options. Like, the rules in New York State for home births are kind of
strict.
Not great. It's like midwives need to be overseen by a physician, and it's just like, I don't know. I could find the things, but it would take time. Anyway, it wasn't easy. Yeah, it was a complicated process, so like not a lot of women opted for that just because it was difficult. And the like middle ground between a hospital and a home birth was birthing centers. That was like what like the medical industry like touted as like this is your other option. Like, don't do a home birth. Like, if you don't want to go to a hospital, go to a birthing center. Except the only birthing center in New York was in Brooklyn. There was only one in the whole state.
That's a lot of people for
That's a lot of people. So this woman decided to open a natural birthing center in her abortion clinic. And she said, yeah, and she said people haven't had issues with it. It's just people respect each other's choices. And I think that's awesome.
That is awesome. Go humanity.
Because in hospitals, there are a lot of, like, weird rules in terms of, like, you have to, like, clamp the cord immediately, and, like, a lot of women just aren't comfortable with it and would rather, like, a more kind of free-flowing birthing experience. But
I can respect that.
Yeah.
I can imagine that being something that you don't want to be super intense and crazy, because it's already kind of intense and crazy.
But what's really interesting is that, like, there's so much controversy surrounding, like, people getting abortions, but also people wanting natural births. Like,
there shouldn't be controversy over people wanting natural births.
Like,
that just shouldn't exist.
It's just, it seems like complete opposite ends of the spectrum, but, like, there's controversy on both ends. So she was just like, I'm gonna put them together.
Good for this woman. Just like, fuck the controversy. Yep. I'm just gonna do what needs to be fucking done.
Yes.
Okay. I like that.
And
good job, lady.
She's pretty great. And it opened, I think, like a month ago. And I guess she started, like, the wheels in motion in, like, 2009, and then she's just been in, like, a sea of paperwork since 2009, and has finally gotten it open now.
Cool.
And that's exciting. It is exciting for the women of Buffalo. Yay! Buffalo, New York.
Yeah, Buffalo, New York.
Woohoo!
And women. I love women. They're the best.
They have babies.
They do. What would be the world without babies?
They grow babies in them.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
You got the elephants.
I do. So science. More science.
Science.
So my note that I actually have here for this story is elephants are racist and scared of men. Which is mostly true.
I am very excited to hear about this.
Yes. Basically, there was a study that found that elephants are capable of distinguishing voices to determine which voices present a greater threat. So male voices present a greater threat, and certain ethnic groups present a greater threat because of higher instances of conflict between certain ethnic groups. Just based on certain lifestyles and just histories of conflict.
Like, I would imagine, poachers being a negative experience. And
yeah, not even necessarily poachers, because the problem is they can't really do much about poaching, because, like, poachers usually have machine guns.
Oh, so
there isn't much an elephant can...
It's not like an elephant ever escapes.
Kind of, yeah, unfortunately.
So sad.
But there's a lot of conflict between elephants and Maasai people, because elephants trample their crops and occasionally trample people and livestock and other things. So groups of Maasai men will occasionally spear an elephant, which is a thing that they can actually elephants have time to react to.
Yeah.
So they react to voices of Maasai men, as opposed to, I think the other group that they used was Kamba men, farmers who live in the same area but don't have the same level of conflict with the elephants.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. They're just
really smart.
They're just so smart. I just love them so much. And they have the same type of reaction in terms of they can determine, specifically older female elephants can determine male lions versus female lions.
Oh.
Because male lions pose a greater threat because they're bigger. So
Don't
yeah, and
female lions do more of the hunting though?
they do more of the hunting, but if there is a male lion hunting, they are more dangerous.
Yeah, because they're bigger. And especially elephants would probably be hard to take down if you were a small cat.
Yes.
Freya cannot take down an elephant.
No.
But she can take down a mouse.
She can. Freya killed a mouse, guys.
Be proud.
Like a little hunter.
Little hunter.
Yes.
All that playing with our animal toys on a string.
Yeah, she actually put the dead mouse down on her toy, like, is this a fucking game to you? Which was lovely.
Good job, kitty.
She just looked at me like, what is this shit?
Yeah.
But anyway, elephants. Yeah, so in response to the Maasai men voices, they get into their like scaredy cluster. Technical term.
Scaredy cluster.
It's not actually.
She's a scientist. Believe this.
It's not actually a technical term, but it is a term that I have used in a presentation at school. Basically, like a family group of elephants. The adult females will like get in a circle facing outwards, and all the babies will be in the middle, so they're all like protected, and it's adorable, and I love it. It's cute. I'm glad it's cute. It's just this little like protection circle with the babies in the middle.
I like how protective they.
They're giant moms.
You have a lot of like elephant love in you.
Basically, yeah.
Also, but I mean like spirit animal, like they're just as protective and also like oddly smart. I think you have a little bit of that there too.
A bit of elephant love. But yeah, like they're 90% of like what elephants do is like the animal kingdom equivalent of like soccer mom arm in the car.
Yeah.
Like they're just giant moms. They're just big gray moms. That's what they are.
Who doesn't want a big gray leathery wrinkly mom?
They're just big moms. That's just what they do. They're just giant moms. And they're the best. They're the best moms. Wish my mom was an elephant.
You should let her know. Pam Tower. Why aren't you an elephant?
Excuse me, Mom. Why are you not an elephant? Get on it.
Not to cut the elephant rant short, but I have two things that I'm supposed to talk about according to Samuel McCracken.
Okay.
One of which is something that I'm totally supportive of. The Flaming Lips and friends of theirs and other famous musical people are remaking the entire Sgt. Pepper's album. Some of these people include MGMT, Miley Cyrus, Tame Impala.
Did your article just get really small?
It did. I don't know how the fuck that happened. Phantogram, Foxygen, a bunch of cool people. I guess Miley Cyrus isn't terrible. sorta. I don't know. I still haven't made up my mind with that one.
She can sing when she wants to. She's just dumb.
Yeah, exactly. Well, but the thing is, she's just a kid. Like,
Yeah.
I have a hard time hating her because I'm like, dude, if I was rich and famous and like hot and talented and like, I almost don't blame her. Like, I don't think I'd do what she does, but I do something else stupid, I'm sure.
Good.
So, yeah, in 2012, it was announced, they're planning to make it collaboratively, and they're going to do them on the, they're having them printed on vinyl that is multicolored, which is pretty cool. Basically, the finalists are pretty awesome, and I haven't really heard much of the stuff that they've done in the past few years. Like, they had that, big album, Yoshimi, or whatever, fights the robots, the pink robots, or whatever it was.
I just pictured an actual, like, really large album.
It's just huge.
It's enormous. You need to
out,
get a special record player with it.
Yeah, it was like came out when we were in like middle school or high school. It was really awesome. Everyone loved it. They had that huge concert tour, and they're very famous for their Bizarro concerts. But that is awesome that they're doing this. Also, collaborative work is always cool. And anything that involves, you know, connecting the Beatles to this generation, I'm all for. Because the Beatles are great. Their music is wonderful. There's no reason why we shouldn't all listen to it all the time. The other thing is this hilarious website called Hello Let's Date. And the entire thing is screenshots of, like, hilarious interactions between people who, like, I guess are flirting? I don't know. I'm still
attempting to flirt?
Yeah.
Unsuccessfully flirting?
I will read one.
Okay.
This is between Caitlin and another person that will not be named because I don't have their name. Male person, I assume. You know what they say about Virginia. Caitlin, haha. Good one, smiley face. Unknown male person. You can't spell it without virgin. I've never touched a woman. And that is the entire screenshot, and then the conversation ends.
As it should. Because that's uncomfortable.
So, I don't really know... Oh, here's another one that will kind of give you the idea. From the, I believe to be male, between, and Emily. Male. You seem to like guns. You ever use one for other stuff? Like scratching your back? Or shooting a Christmas card to your friend? I keep one under my pillow because I'm so lonely. Haha, yikes, says Emily. Let's buy a condo, says dude.
Yikes, says Emily.
Either way, go on your phone or your computer and flip through these. It's a Tumblr, it's fucking funny. I don't know what it is, but another one. Does a snake have a tail, or is it just kind of the same torso thing? Second question. Will you bring me to the hospital losing lots of blood from this snake bite? What the fuck kind of people exist in this world? Laugh at them. They're on my phone. Or something.
I'm frightened.
I don't know, dude. I'm fucking tired.
Mm-hmm. Also, Brian wants us to tell you that they found a mini T-Rex in Canada.
I did find
a dead one, not like a live one.
No,
like
there are no live mini T-Rexes, which is unfortunate. Cause
I wish there was just one like this big. Like just.
Don't you want a mini, like a T-Rex that you can like put in a cage and like it'll run around on a hamster wheel and just be like, "Rawr!" Like,
I really want the dragons from Goblet of Fire.
Oh,
the,
yeah.
The little like model dragons.
Those are
they
cute.
Introduced before the task. I want one of those.
That'd be really awesome. I remember me and my friend in high school always talked about how we wish there were hamster-sized pandas, so you could just keep them in your pocket or on your shoulder, but it would be a panda.
I think the closest would be a sugar glider.
Yeah, it would be.
Because those you're literally required to keep in your pocket when you first get them.
That's how they like it. It's because their moms are marsupials, right?
Yeah.
They live
so
in
like that's how they bond with you.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to keep them in your pocket.
Keep them in your pocket. Other things that should be mentioned. Sorry, I'm doing this all on my phone. It looks like I'm ignoring you and texting someone else. I promise you,
Karen does not want to be your friend.
This is not a bad date or something. Although if you're on a date with me and I'm just doing this, trust me, it is, because I find this very rude. But But we should probably talk about, at least briefly, the fact that Russia and what's that country are, what are they, combining, seceding? What's going on? Hold on one second. I usually know it. No, not Ukraine. It starts with a C. Crimea?
Oh, yeah, that part of Ukraine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a part of Ukraine. Either way, the section of Ukraine that is close to Russia and far more Russian aligned, I believe.
That little part that they invaded?
Yeah, the little part they invaded. I believe it is trying to join with Russia. There was a vote the other day. I saw this on Sunday while I was at the gym. Basically asking the country, or not the country, that little part of it, if they wanted to join Russia or just stay part of the Ukraine. And I believe, from what I've noticed, I'm going to try to find the actual article I was reading from the New York Times, that they are indeed joining, which is interesting because the U.S. has actually made a lot of moves against Russia because of this, I believe. Russian presidential decree recognizing Crimea made considering the expression of the will of the people.
I feel like if it's like actually will of the people and not some sort of like fraudulent vote, then it's like. Yeah.
Oh, I believe that the deal is that Russia is now recognizing Crimea as an independent state, separate from the Ukraine.
But also separate from Russia?
I believe they're still separate from Russia.
So Crimea is just going to be like a new country?
They're either seceding or they're joining Russia. That's all I got. I swear I knew more.
They're doing a thing. They're doing a not being part of Ukraine anymore thing.
So they're not part of Ukraine anymore. What that means, I don't know. Why this means the U.S. is all angry and trying to...
The U.S. just likes being angry.
Yeah, we also just don't like Russia very much. It's because they won too many gold medals. They also won the right way at the Olympics.
Yeah, I couldn't make them lose the Olympics.
Other interesting things, there was a big earthquake in LA today, 4.4. All of LA woke up at 6 a.m. Crazy.
I feel really bad that I have no idea what a bad earthquake is.
Everything on the 1 to 2 scale is something you're not going to feel. 3 or 4 is going to be a normal, like, you're going to feel it. This is a 4.4 or 4.7, I forget. And so it was a pretty solid earthquake. 5 or 6 are, like, destructing things.
Like, so this one was like a maybe break shit in your house, but like not break your body kind of.
Yeah, I don't think people were injured or anything, but like there was things fell sort of earthquake. You woke up from this one.
I've never experienced an earthquake.
It's interesting. A lot of people really fear them. I'm kind of like excited when it happens because I've grown up with them. So I'm like, oh, it's just like I have time on a desk for a minute.
I grew up near a quarry.
Oh.
So, I'm used to minor blasting.
It's a little bit different,
but not prolonged shaking.
Yeah, it's a little different.
I've never felt an earthquake.
Well, it's just not.
I have felt the earthquake from blasting, but I have not felt an earthquake. I think was the point I was trying to make.
I understand. I followed that, Jordan. But once you get into the 6 or so.
Then that's bad.
Shits are getting bad. But if the Richter scale, I believe, goes up to 9 or 10.
Yeah, that was my next question. I was like,
what's the cap for that? But if there was ever a 9, the Earth would like go inside out, sort of thing, or ever a 10, it would just like it would cease to exist. It's an extreme amount of. It would be like here are the 2 plates. That would be.
They are 1 plate now.
That would be a 9. Other things worth mentioning. Rob Lowe turned 50 today, and he's still beautiful and amazing, and literally one of the coolest people ever.
Literally the best.
Literally the best. But unfortunately, he is no longer on Parks and Rec because he and Ann Perkins, the beautiful angel she is, left earlier this season. I hope you all have been watching it because it's a good show, and stuff's happening with it. Lots of changes, including a baby, and everyone loves babies. And the final thing I want to talk about today is that you have 2 more weeks to sign up for Obamacare, which is too bad because it's going to take you like 3 weeks to get it to actually work. My roommate Christine Riley went through quite an epic journey with Obamacare.
We still need to have her as a guest to talk about her Obamacare experience.
But she finally has it. It took her a lot. But if you don't have insurance and you have no hope of getting it anytime soon, try to sign up. If the website starts to work more, it would be cool. I would like that, because, it's actually a good thing to have this universal healthcare thing. It's just...
Yeah, I feel like that's the problem, is it's like, it's a good... I'm all for it in theory.
It's just that the website sucks.
All the bullshit surrounding it.
Yeah. It's a great program because there's a very large population of young people who are currently unemployed or part-time employed or do not have good insurance. And the way that it works is you need a lot of young, healthy people to buy into the program because they use less money than those who are older. And so this way, a lot of money is going into the program, but you're also getting young people to get insurance, which is good. It's good to have that from a young age. You want that.
It's like you probably won't need it, but you might.
If you do, you really want to have it. As someone who has been to the emergency room multiple times in the past few years, if I didn't have insurance, I don't know what I'd do. So...
Your knee would still be like dangling at a weird angle.
I wouldn't be able to walk, you guys. I'd be broke and I'd have no functioning legs. So...
Zero legs.
As a person with, knee issues, I'm going to let you know, get insurance. If you can,
insure them legs.
Try to get Obamacare to work for you, because, that would be nice. But if it doesn't work, don't feel too bad, because it doesn't work for a lot of people. But at least try. And that's what I have to say about Obamacare.
A for effort.
Yeah, just give it a shot. Try to do that Obama thing. Also, watch Obama on Between Two Ferns, because he was hilarious and really good comedic timing and totally, slapped Zach Galifianakis, or what the fuck his name is. Yeah, G-word with lots of things. With his brain. Just slapped his brain. It was great. You have anything else to talk about?
Slap in the brain.
Jordan?
Nope.
That's all your stuff?
I talked about all my stuff.
This is all my stuff, too. Oh my god, we've been on the air for an hour.
Woo!
We did a full show, even though I'm super fucking tired.
I just howled back.
What?
Howled back.
You did. I think that's a good thing. You let your little direwolf out. Well, unfortunately, comments haven't really been a thing while we were,
Is it because no one works, or because we've somehow fucked up the comments?
No,
I mean, no one watches. Did I say works?
No, we've had 2 to 3 viewers the entire time. So, people are watching. Also, apparently, I've been getting messages from friends. They watch, the next day and stuff like that. People are actually watching the show. Right? Crazy? Awesome. Thank you, guys. This is you. I would not be up at this point after a, 14 or something hour day unless someone was watching, because then this would be dumb. But you're watching, so I'm sitting here in my server's uniform talking to you about stuff. So thank you for watching. Tune in next week. Do we have only next week, or do we have one more week after that? I believe we have 2 weeks.
Hold on while I check the calendar.
Well, your calendar bounces on your computer.
We have 2 more weeks.
2 more weeks. If you're interested in being a guest on the show and you live in Boston, let us know. And, other than that, anything else?
No.
Okay. Adios.
It's bedtime now.
Our friends. I'm gonna sleep.
Good night. Yeah, sleepy times.